Hi, this is Subramaniam Shankaran. Good to see you on the video. Now, AI strategy. Okay, as and when we start the BCAA UK Certified Chief AI Officer, the first thing we cover about, okay, is about the strategy document for the AI. Okay. Now, what is an AI strategy? AI is not an IT. Okay, it's a business. How AI supports the business is what the strategy is. It needs to get aligned to the business strategy the organization is going to have. So AI strategy is something that is derived from the business strategy. It's an executive level documentation. It gives you the vision. Okay, what exactly you want to do, the vision, mission, and the goals, and all those things we discuss about with respect to the business is inherited by the AI strategy document. Okay, so it aligns itself to the business. Okay, how the AI can support the organization's business is what the strategy documentation was all about. There are four pillars for this AI strategy document. First is the business alignment, as we said, data and the infrastructure. So for we always speak about people, process, and technology and partners (PPTP) whenever it comes to ISO. But in case of an AI, it's people, process, data, and technology (PPDT or PPTD). People, process, technology, and the data is what we speak about. So first thing is the business alignment. Next one to see whether we have the right data and the infrastructure to actually host it. Why the infrastructure? We're going for deep learning models, large language models, the deep learning models, etc. You need to have an GPU and TPUs, etc. Okay, to host them. So if you don't have them, then we need to go to the cloud. Okay, or you can go for a small language model which doesn't require this GPUs and TPUs, can work on the edge computing. So business alignment, data infrastructure, governance, and risk. It depends upon which part of the world that you operate from. Okay, if you are in European Union, okay, now we have the European Union AI Act, which is going to go live from 3rd of August 2026 for the high risk application. And we have got South Korean AI basic law. We've got the Central Bank of UAE, okay, law for the AI governance. Okay, so every country is actually working on their governance framework. In few countries, it's a law. In few countries, it's actually a guideline, whatever it is. Your sovereign AI governance principles, so the laws or the guidelines, okay, that is something that you need to adopt to this. The AI strategy document should also speak about that. Then the talent and the culture, okay. Many of the studies say that 60% of the AI transformation is something which is stuck because the people are not accepting it. Okay, the talent and culture where the people have the apprehension. Okay, in organization adopting to an AI, they fear about losing their jobs. Okay, so we need to encourage people. We need to make them realize that it is not job displacement, but AI is going to augment or is going to assist you in your job. Okay, in fact, the popular products, okay, they are named that way. In fact, Microsoft Copilot, we say, right? So Copilot is something which is going to drive the things alongside with you. So the Microsoft Copilot is the way it has been psychologically named in such a way that people don't have that fear. Now we need to run the literacy program across the organization. Different levels of literacy program. One is for everyone in the organization, for the prompt engineers, from the developers, for the managers, for the C-suite professional. Okay, three layers, or three levels, 4 levels, 5 levels, 6 levels. It also depends upon the size of the organization. But basically, the literacy program should be there in the organization for with respect to the AI. So the business alignment, data and infrastructure, governance and risk, and talent and culture. These are the four pillars in which the AI strategy is going to be built. Okay, points to be noted while drafting a strategy. Business alignment and return on investment. Okay, so prioritization. Whatever see, we categorize the projects that we want to undertake into high value, high feasibility, high value, low feasibility, low value, high feasibility, low value, and low feasibility. Okay, these are the four categories of the projects. Okay, we are going to assign them as a part of the quadrant and decide which one we will actually go for. Low value, low feasibility, actually no. High value, high feasibility, like the chat box, etc. AI enabled chat box. Usually the organization adopt to, and they prioritize that because the high value, high feasibility gives them confidence to the developers and the organization with respect to the AI transformation. Okay, so we need to, and how do you get to know what are the projects that we can actually have? So we need to look at the ISO 42000 where we, identify the external, internal interested parties or the stakeholders and get their expectations. So one moment all the expectations are gathered together, then we will sit and see. okay, and discuss about which expectation is something that we can really support, okay, with an AI augmentation. We'll go ahead with that. Okay, so we can identify the projects again, high value, high feasibility. We'll go ahead with that. So problem first approach. Okay, we are not supposed to implement AI for the sake of implementing it. Okay, so I had spent a good considerable amount of years in UK. Okay, if you look at the British, they don't unnecessarily do things. Okay, they will do it only if they want to, otherwise no. Okay, so like AI first is something that we can actually adopt to, but if it's really required, then we will actually go for that. Otherwise, we don't need to implement AI for the sake of implementing it. So we need to understand what the problem that the organization has got, and then see if we can implement AI to address that particular problem. So problem first approach, success metrics. Okay, the KPIs for the AI investment. Okay, cost reduction, revenue generation, and time saving. Usually, it increases the cash reserve for the organization. That means it reduces the operational cost. It will increase the profitability, or it can save you from the penalty. Okay, so like a penny saved, the penny earned. Okay, so it is like we have got the revenue generation, operational cost reduction, and the penalty avoidance. Okay, these are the KPIs that we can also measure. And the certification body has actually released a document, okay, on the LinkedIn, where 100 KPIs are mentioned. We can also go for that. Scalability. Okay, outline how a successful pilot will be scaled enterprise-wide to avoid disjoint shadow AI projects. See, there are a lot of organizations which will adopt to a so that the other teams which actually work with an unauthorized tools, etc., they can get rid of that, and they can start using the organization authorized language model. So scalability is also something that we'll be looking at. Governance risk and complaints, risk stratification. So calculate or divide the risk. Okay, unacceptable risk, high risk, limited risk, minimum the levels of risk that is there on the European Union AI Act. So most probably, okay, most the UK AI Act is waiting to be released, and most probably, okay, most of the countries will go because once the GDPR was kickstarted in 2018, many other countries started following it. Similarly, okay, the European Union Act, where the risk stratification was done, every country will start following that. Okay, even if your country is not following that, we can always stratify the risk and address the AI with level up the AI to address that particular risk so that that risk is treated properly. Okay, standardization. Okay, follow the ISO standard 42001 for the management system, 23894 for the risk management guideline, 38507 for the governance, 22890 22989 okay for the AI life cycle. Okay, so we have got a lot of standards that are actually going to help you to drive the AI right from the data to the model to the infrastructure to the life cycle, everything. Okay, vendor accountability. This comes under the third party risk. You also need to note down in your AI strategy document how you are going to evaluate the third party providers and align them with respect to your organization. Okay, the other pillar, the security and threat mitigation, model vulnerability. See, AI definitely adds up a layer, okay, of vulnerability to you because AI is surrounded by the web application. Web application, okay, most probably web application. Web application has got their own vulnerability, which is surrounded by the operating system vulnerability, hardware vulnerability, network vulnerability, supply chain vulnerability, and the human vulnerability. Without the AI, the six layers exist. With the AI, it's the seventh layer. Okay, AI specific vulnerabilities also exist. Where can you find these vulnerabilities? Try looking at Google Secure AI Framework, OWASP Top 10 ML vulnerability, LLM vulnerability, NHA vulnerabilities, and adversarial machine learning from NIST and MIT Atlas for the moment. These are all known vulnerabilities, but there are a lot of other vulnerabilities also which are not listed as a part of this. Okay, so fortunately or unfortunately, we need to keep looking at all the relevant sites or the source of information to get to know these vulnerabilities. Access control. Who has got the authority to deploy the AI models? Because if this is not controlled, it will lead to a situation called as AI sprawl. Okay, a lot of models will be deployed, and some models will be abandoned without getting decommissioned. The abandoned models will become an AI zombie that could lead to a very big problem. So there should be a control on who is going to handle the model, deploy the model, control the model, delete the model, etc. Okay, data readiness and architecture. So your data is the fuel, okay, and the model is the engine. Garbage in and garbage out. If you don't have the right data to be followed, okay, when you are actually developing a model, do not get on to the AI integration, AI transformation. Wrong data, your entire transformation will go haywire. So the data provenance, what is provenance? Just to prove that where did you get your data from? If an organization operating for so many decades, like a bank, okay, your data is sufficient for you to train the algorithm to get a model. If not, okay, data needs to be purchased from a third party. In that particular situation, you need to prove that you have purchased from a third party, even if it is locally, okay, if it's locally available, still you need to prove that it's locally available. So data provenance, data linkability, data auditability, okay, all these things will relate to, from where did you get the data, whether you are authorized to get the data. There have been a lot of cases where the Federal Trade Commission has, ordered the company to retrain their model, okay, on their authorized data, because the companies train their data on the model, let's say the photos, etc., for which they are not authorized. Silo integration, connecting all the data lakes together into what is called the data fabric. This is a very big subject. Okay, in fact, in today's class, okay, I had been discussing about this air gap network and all those things. Okay, so silo integration, ensure that your data lakes are all connected to the data fabric. Okay, human capital culture, have the human in the loop. So there are three strategies. Okay, human in the loop, on the loop, and in command. Human in the loop, okay, he's involved for every decision, and human in command, he's involved only if there is a deviation. There's a human on the loop. For the human in command, that means on the organization level, they decide what to adopt and what not to adopt. So human in the loop for every decision, on the loop for an exception, in command, okay, is going to be in the organization level. Upskilling, encourage the people to learn. See, whenever it comes to human capital or a data or technology, etc., we build, buy, or partner. Okay, building takes time, but you own it. Buying is immediate. Okay, but you don't support it. Okay, support has to come from the vendor. If the vendor becomes bankrupt, there's nobody to support you. Okay, all this does exist. Every strategy has got a pros and cons. Okay, so you decide how do you actually want to do it. Upskilling the existing employee. What are the challenges? Okay, the pace of the change. If the AI strategy takes a lot of time and implementing the AI or the AI transformation takes a lot of time, people will start, following, downloading their own model and start following it. This will result to what is called the shadow AI. Okay, balancing innovation, strict governance. There are three different models in which the AI transformation actually happens. One is called the centralized. The other one is actually called as the federated model. The third one is called as a hub and spoke. In the centralized, there is one single team, okay, that is going to control the AI proliferation on the AI operations within the organization. That is a rigid structure, okay. And the other one is called, federated, okay, where it is going to be in within every department, which proves the innovation. See, the centralized system is actually good for the regulated industries like banks and healthcare, okay, but if you look at the innovation part of it, the federated is actually okay. But there's always a push for an hybrid model, federated as well as federated as well as the centralized one. Okay, that's called the hybrid model. So it also enables the governance. It also enables what is called the innovation. Okay, creating a blanket ban on the AI used to mitigate the risk, which inevitably drives towards the shadow AI. Drafting a strategy around specific vendor tools and current model limitation. Okay, it should not be tool based, it should be principle based. Okay, coming on the third one, data reality disconnect. You think you have a clean data, but you don't have a clean data. If you don't have a clean data, your model is not going to be good. It is not going to be as expected by you. Okay, the problem definition, deviation will be there in the development and so solution. So drafting and strategy that assumes clean data is really available for training and retrieval augmented drag. Okay, so there's a trap solution. AI strategy must simultaneously be a remediation strategy. It must explicitly allocate resources for the data accounts, cleaning, breaking down all these things. Okay, so the data is just not as such fit into the model, right? In the data ingestion stage, okay, at the end of it, okay, there is a data scientist who's going to get involved to check the data whether the bias, okay, is not there. Okay, the outliers are all treated and the missing values are all populated, etc. Okay, so the clean data goes to the next stage, what is called the inference stage. Novel security and threat blind spots. The same cyber security that is there within the organization might not hold good because we are not dealing with the SQL injection. We are dealing with a prompt injection, which is based on the NLP. It's a plain English. Okay. So we need to look at, as I told you, right, the OWSB top 10 ML vulnerability, LLM vulnerability, etc., to ensure that we have a specific certified AI security professionals and AI security officers certified with the BCAA UK, okay, working as a part of your team to support you with respect to the AI security. Yeah. Redefining and measuring the genuine ROI. Okay. The funding is isolated. Okay, the tactical AI pilots do not scale across the enterprise. There is a situation in AI which is called the pilot purgatory. In the pilot purgatory, the project does not go beyond the pilot. So we have a proof of concept where the model and my data, pilot where my model and the customer's historical data, then the sale is actually made. It becomes their model and their current data. Okay, most of the projects are stuck in what is called the pilot purgatory. There are a lot of statistics. Some books says 92%, some books say 60%. Whatever it is, then this problem do exist. Ensure that we are not stuck in that particular stage. Okay, we are hitting the production. We get the scalability. Okay, so thanks for joining me for this video. And one of the best certifications for AI governance and leadership is BCAI UK Certified Chief AI Officer. So if you want to join us for the training, write to me on training@itriplus.org.uk. This is Subramaniam Shankaran signing off for now. Cheers and bye bye.